Good afternoon, everybody. Buon pomeriggio a tutti, and welcome to the January Smart Talk of the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce, where today we have the pleasure to host authoritative representative of the foreign Italian chamber system, and that will focus, who will focus on the business development and internationalization in the Med area, and particularly on the support of the foreign Italian chamber system. Med area, as you all know, is really important for the activity, for the action of the Italian Cyprus Chamber of Commerce. From the beginning, one of our is in our guidelines, in our strategy, the support to our members in the area, because for us, for the Italian chamber system, for the activity, for the story of the Italian chamber system, the focus has been and is on the Mediterranean area, considering Cyprus as an important country, but also an important hub in the East Med region. And all our action, all our activities are focused on this to develop, to further develop the relation, the business relation that the Italian companies, the Italian business are in the area, and we are continuously working hard in this direction. So it was really important for us to start the 2023 activities with this smart talk, with the presence of the foreign Italian chamber system. Before to leave the floor to my colleague Federico Franchina, who will moderate today's talk, let me to introduce the guests. That first of all, Domenico Mauriello, that is the Secretary General of Assocamerestero, that is the Association of the Foreign Italian Chambers and Union Camere. Domenico is Secretary General from February 2021, after a previous experience in Union Camere as head of new project and internationalization. And that was the occasion of our first meeting. I remember Domenico had an important role also in the establishment of our chamber, of the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce. So it's thanks, Domenico, to be present today with us. Really important for us, your presence and the presence of Assocamerestero here today. And also Mrs. Clelia di Consiglio, who is the Secretary General of the Israel-Italy Chamber of Commerce. That is a chamber with an important history, because it was established in 1955, so many years, we can say many years ago. And Mrs. Clelia di Consiglio is covered the role of Secretary General from, if I'm not wrong, 12 years. It's more than 10 years, so we can say. And also Mr. Kerollos Abdelmalek, that is the Secretary General of the Egypt-Italy Chamber of Commerce. That I can say I was impressed looking in the website. The year of the establishment of the chamber is 927. So we are almost 100 years, a century. So it's a really important presence in the area. So this is an important. Okay, it's not a case, as I said, that we start the activity of the Italian-Cypriot Chamber with this presence and with this focus on the Mediterranean. So I'm sure that this will be also the first step to develop other activities together, other action together in the area. So it's really important again, focus on this. So let's start, Federico, with the smart talks, and thanks to everybody for your presence here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe, and thank you very much again to our distinguished speakers for today's Smart Talk. With, as you have mentioned, is enlarged to the East Med area. But I would like to go straight forward to Domenico, Mauriello, asking to give us and our audience an overview about activities and tasks of Assocamerestero. Domenico, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As President Marino said, this is the second time I've been invited to have a speech in this event. First time was as member of Union Camera, and after 3 years approximately as Secretary General of Assocamerestero. What is Assocamerestero in a few words? Assocamerestero is the association of all Italian chambers of commerce abroad, and we are an institutional network officially recognized by Italian government, just like the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce. And the chamber system now consists of 84 chambers of commerce operating in 61 countries. Countries which represent 80% of Italy's trade. It is a widespread network, well-rooted in foreign territories, with more than 160 offices worldwide, employing about 500 people, supported by a base of about 20,000 members. The Italian Chambers of Commerce abroad were introduced, some of them even more than 100 years ago, and developed in foreign countries as private associations of entrepreneurs and professionals, working, as I always say for other entrepreneurs and professionals, Italian entrepreneurs and professionals who consider Italy as a partner for their business, just like, once again, the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce. Our chambers are an expression, therefore, of the local business communities in which they are located, but at the same time, they are closely connected with both the Italian government and the Italian diplomatic and consular representations. And in other words, they are private business associations, but with an institutional vocation defined by an institutional frame. And this, as Clelia and Kerollos will say, this guarantees them two valuable abilities. First of which is having timely, how can I say, first-hand connections and information of the different markets. And then the capability to offer personalized and continuous assistance thanks to the direct and daily association of its bicultural staff, like Clelia and Kerollos, with the businesses of the foreign country. Let me say at the end that over time, the action of the chambers has increasingly specialized, not only in traditional matchmaking services, but also in innovative fields, such as the digital economy, sustainability and ecological transition, innovation as a whole. And these are also how to attract foreign direct investments to Italy. And these are the new fields where we would like to develop cooperation with other systems, with other chambers, just like the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Domenico. Very, very clear. And indeed, I would like to ask you, from your perspective and from the network of Assocamerestero, well, this year is going to see many changes, especially in international environment as well as economy. Such phenomena like reshoring, nearshoring are growing of importance. New strategies from European Union and other countries in the Mediterranean are put on the light a new shape of business relation. So in your view, in which sense the East Med area could benefit from these changes?
Well, yes, I would like to draw the attention firstly on some aspects that have a strong impact on transnational supply chains, but also on international trade and investment, logistics, and other issues that are really important for the East Med area. It has to be said that within the Italian links of global supply chains, attention to the issues of environmental and social sustainability is nowadays very, very high. And today, as I told you, the chambers of commerce, our chambers of commerce abroad, support export-oriented companies. They show a strong emphasis on investing in sustainable products and services also within these international supply chains. And outside Europe, and also in the Mediterranean macro region, the Chamber of Commerce can support reshoring and nearshoring processes and also foster the matching with local suppliers and subcontractors in different sectors, from food to textile, chemical, energy, and so on. And this also by promoting among them traceability and transparency standards, so as to help create responsible supply chains and also guarantee the respect of sustainability criteria from an economic, social, and environmental perspectives. In terms of ESG schemes, that is non-financial risk assessment. And Assocamerestero will strive, is already striving to create the conditions to strengthen supply chains over Mediterranean countries, being proactive in two fundamental measures. Firstly, in Italy and Europe, including Cyprus, strengthening the demand of their SMEs to sustainable companies, Italian companies abroad or foreign companies, already partaking in the main supply chains, also promoting transparency standards and social responsibility. And secondly, in East Med countries just like ours, outside Europe, also providing local companies not only with information, first orientation and training services, but also with operational tools useful to manage sustainability conversion, so as to reduce risks along global supply chains involving Italian and European SMEs as a whole. And I do hope that Clelia and Kerollos after me will say a few words, especially in some sectors like energy or tourism as well, can be important from this point of view.
Thank you. Very, very interesting from your perspective, the position and the focus that you see for this year. And of course, we do share your perspective in this sense. And I think all of our associates agree on these kind of changes and the evolution. In this sense, I would like to ask to Clelia. So focusing on his chamber, Clelia, exactly, could you explain, please, the role and position of the chamber that you represent in Israel?
Okay, Israel, it's a very different country, different type of economy in respect of what we do have in Europe, in North America, or in other places around in the Mediterranean. North Africa is another example. I would say that we pride to say that we do kind of different things, different kind of activities. In the years, the chamber has always been a bridge between the two countries, and we have assisted the embassy and other Italian institutions here in Israel by acting like the historic memory. You know that embassies and the trade agency, every few years they change, people come and goes, and they change roles and go to other country, but the chamber is here. We stay here, and my role was the one of having to tie some loose ends for the people who are coming to replace previous positions. So sometimes we have me and my president, which is all very present and held in a very big esteem by the people here in the area, help the embassy and the trade agency to recollect events that have been done and connections that have been done. So we acting a bit like a bridge that help them to connect with Italy and to connect here with the territory, because they can't know everybody, but we do. Israel is a very small country, 9.2 million people, but the people that are in the area of Tel Aviv and they are dealing with Italy and trading with other countries are quite a small community of people that we tend to know. So we foster these connections. We did help within making scientific connection, political connection, trade connection. The chamber, that's what we do. We assist Italian companies to come to Israel to penetrate the ecosystem here, the highly innovative ecosystem. It's not easy for some Italian companies and Italian institutions to understand how the innovation came about, how the Israeli ecosystem works, and how tight it is within connections. So that has been our role so far. Let's say that we don't usually operate this chamber in what are the classical sectors that the Italian operate, like food and I don't know, other commodities that Italy trade with other countries, because Israel has got very strict laws about food, about what you can import or what you can't import. So it's not always easy to come here and to do business. So that's what the chamber offers, is a full guide and holistic approach to what is the ecosystem in Israel. That's what we've been doing.
Very, very interesting, the approach that you are developing, and this also brings to me to hear from you what you expect for this year in terms of business and economic relations between Italy and Israel, and also, moreover, what could be the role of Cyprus in this framework? We have talked about a bridge as a chamber. We usually tend to consider Cyprus also like a bridge between the European Union and East Med area. So in this sense, what could be also the role that Cyprus could play in order to support the Italian companies that from Cyprus are looking to Israel with increasing interest?
Whatever you can, from whichever angle you can look at the situation of Israel, what it is as a country, we that live here, we see Israel like an island, a bit like Cyprus. I mean, around us, there is no sea, but there's a whole lot of countries, which is at the moment part of Egypt and Jordan. We don't have much trade. And I mean, for Israel, it's paramount important to have connections within the Mediterranean and to help to have good friendship with other countries around us, because as I told you, we feel like an island. What have we been doing the last year and in the previous year come to here is having a lot of triangulation between Israeli, Italians and other countries. Last year, for instance, we had a good mission of Israeli innovation to Dubai, to have a triangulation there with Italian companies that need innovation, with Israeli innovator, and with the Emirates funds and investment funds that could invest in Italian companies and as well invest in innovation. Innovation, it's at the moment what we do because it's what the economy of this country requires. That's what we do. We produce ideas and patent and innovation. So we don't have big manufacture in Israel. That's one of the things that characterize Israel. But we are doing manufacturing in Italy, in Germany. So Israeli companies go out to manufacture because here in Israel, the costs to manufacturing are so high that we have to look to other countries. I think that there's a lot of interest in Cyprus for investments. A lot of people I know that are buying hotels, resort, because tourism is quite a big chunk for the economy of Cyprus can be for Israeli, the attraction in Cypriotic economy. So we think that that would be one of the things that we can go and trigger some interest on behalf of the Israelis. As well, we think that the energy, as we are collaborating with Egypt, Israel is collaborating with Egypt, with the gas, and Italy to triangulate like that with the energy within the Mediterranean. I saw the Prime Minister, she went to Algeria, if I'm not mistaken, to initiate some form of trading with gas to go through Sardinia. And we are on the other side, we are more of the Adriatic side, that route, let's say. So I think that Egypt could be quite a great partner for Israel and for Cyprus. And we can for sure start to find common things that we can work on. Thanks.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Clelia. Indeed, the energy, we started years ago, the chamber, Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce, stressing and highlighting the attention on energy. And I think, Giuseppe, was 4 years ago. Nobody believed how energy would grow in terms of importance, but above all, in terms of the relations between countries. We have to transport energy from one side to another side. But in this sense, also Egypt is playing a relevant role, as you also Clelia has mentioned. And so I would like to ask to Kerollos, and also thank you very much for his presence here, as I said before, to explain us the role of his chamber in Egypt.
Thank you for the invitation. First of all, it's my pleasure to be invited to such a meeting, which is important to let you know about the role of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Egypt and how it is important in facilitating doing business between Egyptian and Italian companies. Because the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Egypt, as you mentioned, established in 1927, had always the role of bringing buyers or exhibitors between two countries. Facilitating doing business means making good networking, matchmaking between Egyptian and the Italian companies. We always had the role, I can say that, of matchmaking good chances between Italian and Egyptian companies to do business. This is the main role we do.
Okay, thank you very much to Kerollos. And but in this sense, also from your perspective, well, we know that Italy and Egypt had very interesting and deep relations in terms of economic development and business relations. So in this sense, what you expect for this year in terms of further development of business relation between Italy and Egypt, not only between them, but in the context of East Med area, and even to you, what could be the role of Cyprus in as a bridge, as I said before, not only between Europe and Egypt and East Med, but even between Italy and East Med can in this sense play?
Indeed, Italy is the most important European country as a commercial partner for Egypt. You can imagine a volume of trade exchange between Egypt and Italy. It's considered the most important European country in this sense. We can say that import-export between Egypt and Italy is very important, but in this year especially, due to new strategy that Egypt is implementing, the government is supporting export activities, is trying to attract investments, is trying to encourage more exports, and is trying to put limitation for imports activity. Of course, Italy has chance, and other companies has the same chance to come and invest in Egypt. Considered hub due to thanks to the commercial agreements, trade agreements in Africa and in Middle East, investors who come and invest in Egypt has the opportunity and chance to open the door for new markets thanks to this partner or free trade agreements that Egypt has. Let me say that Italy is always important for its machinery and for its equipment and for many sectors related to technology. And now Egypt is trying to get the know-how of Italian industry, so that we can implement many projects in Egypt, and then will be transferred to Africa and to Middle East. Of course, when I started to focus on the trade exchange between Egypt and Cyprus, I found many interesting opportunities that we will be interested to develop with your chamber, because there are machinery and equipment that Egypt is transferring to Cyprus, and I imagine that if made in Italy, if the Italian industry is transferred to Egypt, and then, as Clelia said, triangulation, many chances will be offered between Italy, Cyprus, and Egypt. And as you mentioned, energy sector is one of the most important sectors, talking about electricity, talking about gas, natural gas. Projects between Israel, Cyprus, and Egypt are already started and will be more developed in next years. And it's very interesting to attract Italian investment in these sectors, because already they are famous and they are well equipped in these sectors.
Thank you, Kerollos. The fact that from Egypt and Israel, there is almost the same approach, both to Italy and Cyprus, encourages us to reinforce the presence of Italy and Italian companies in the East Med area. And in this sense, I would like to ask you for the conclusion for this talk to everybody, of course. So I think ladies first, so to Clelia, and then after Kerollos and Domenico. But the same question to everybody. In this the conclusion of this smart talk, how do you see the relation between Italy and Cyprus in the East Med area, and also what us as Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce can do in order to strengthen the economic relations in the East Med area, together also with other chambers present that attended at this smart talk. This, as you have mentioned, is not just a matter of only exports of goods, but it's also a matter of to make and to build up a team to deal with a complex project, such as, for example, energy. So please, I'd like to hear from you about this point.
What is very interesting, actually, and from today's talk, that you managed to put together two very different economies, us in Israel and the one that Kerollos just presented to you. I mean, we got two countries that, although both in the Mediterranean, they are complete opposite regarding cost of living and human resources and what they can offer to Italian companies and to Italian investors, obviously. I would say that we can all complete each other by working together. I mean, Kerollos, Egypt has got a large population, a very well-trained population, high-skilled people that can work and prosper with Italian industry that can be brought there, or they can work for Italian industry offshore. I mean, Israel can supply with the innovation to make all these tie up together and work. What we see in the Med, that it's, I would say it's important that we start meeting each other, we start talk to each other, and we start even bringing delegation from one side to another, to looking at what we got to offer our economy. The various ecosystem that there are. I mean, it's a great insight that in the same area, we got such different country that can offer so many different things to the Italian industry. And I would say it's amazing that there's more variety in the Mediterranean side than there is in Europe. Europe's economy, it's almost uniform. I mean, if you're speaking with the entrepreneur in France, in England, or in Germany, they are more or less at the same level. The country offer more or less the same things. I mean, us in the Mediterranean, you can find many different aspects of economy, many different people. And it's really what's special about the sea that we all have in common, that we can share, being the same people, but being so different. And I think that we should start talking to each other, knowing what are really we do, what is our program for this year. We all about to publish all our programs for this year, and see if I presented some activities or Kerollos that you might feel that your associate wish to take part. I mean, by all means, you can approach us and we can speak together. We can talk about collaboration about concrete things, not just the talk. But here in Israel, we mean business. We want to do things, and the talk is nice. And now we had the talk. Let's move on. Let's see what we can really do together to make it happen.
Perfect.
I'll leave maybe Kerollos. You want to add something?
It's very interesting her point of view, because it's very practical, talking about business missions or matchmaking activity, who are serious and who are interested in doing business, not just to talk, not just to meet, but for actual realistic activity. This is very interesting. Actually, as she said, we are about to finalize or to finish our program for the upcoming year, and this is very interesting to concentrate also on how to cooperate all together, as we are near Cyprus, Israel, Egypt. We can check in which sectors we can collect business missions, or maybe we can bring Italian companies to cooperate, not only between these three countries, but we can get Italian companies.
Thank you very much, Domenico, for the conclusion.
Yes, just a few words to conclude, and starting from what the Italian-Cyprus Chambers of Commerce sees. which is something even different from the two Italian chambers of abroad that we have listened to today. You are based in Italy, firstly, then you can collect needs and trends from Italy to East Mediterranean countries. So you are the gateway, the possible gateway is my hope, from Italy to East Med area, but also in Cyprus. You are the closest European country to this part of the Mediterranean. So it could be quite natural for you to become the gateway from Italy to East Med area, supporting also the cooperation, the triangulation, as my colleague said, among our three countries. And this is my hope, and with this hope, I think we can start a new level of talk, but also, as Clelia said, concrete way of cooperation among our institutions.
Perfect.
Thank you for your invitation.
No, thank you once again. Thank you very much for the time that you have. Very grateful giving to us. I think it has been a very fruitful, smart talk. A lot of our associates that, of course, are multinational companies. Most of them, so they are going to appreciate this event. Just want to remember to everybody that as Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce, we will arrange the 6th Italian-Cypriot Business Forum meeting at the end of May in Italy, and we also attend. Will be with a great presence at the Energy conference in Limassol in November. Energy, as we said, and we fully agree, is one of the sector and one of the business area in which it is important cooperation, not only at the economic level, but also the institutional ones. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to our speakers, distinguished speakers, and our audience. Have a good afternoon to everybody. Bye.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.